Today I'd like to talk about a movie that is 100% blood, pus, pure bad taste, and pure brilliance. So Lamberto Bava's Demons is one of my fondest memories from the golden age of home video. The Australian VHS box art was pure nightmare fuel for a generation of kids, arguably the most intense box art in the entire horror section, at least until the Demons 2 video release came along. And this was the film that ladled blood, pus, slime and sweat onto post-apocalyptic cinema, something that hadn't been done before. The premise of Demons sees us in Berlin, arguably one of the most futuristic cities of the time and arguably one of the most futuristic cities today, which really gives the whole thing a bit of a neon Fulci zombie meets Ridley Scott's Blade Runner kind of vibe. That's the best way I can describe it, I guess. Anyway, it's a rather odd movie with a cyberpunk type masked character played oddly enough by future Cemetery Man director Michele Soave, who plays several roles in this movie, and he's wandering around a Berlin train station handing out tickets to a movie premiere at a mysterious art deco cinema called the Metropole. So a wildly disparate group of extremely cheap and frugal cinema goers who've taken free tickets arrive on opening night to enjoy a movie premiere that they know nothing about, and they are exactly the kind of cheapskates you'd expect to turn up for a free movie. And there's an angry judgmental boomer and his wife, and you can just tell that this boomer's wallet is as tight as a fish's arsehole from the beginning of the movie. Then there's an old blind man who looks like Peter Cushing and his very promiscuous companion Liz. Now, I can't tell if Liz is his carer, his niece, or his main squeeze. It's a bit hard to tell in this movie. Either way, it's a weird, abusive relationship, which is kind of creepier than the demons in the movie, to say the least. So Liz winds up hooking up with some random guy later, who also looks way too old for her. She definitely has a type. And I can't figure out if this was some prearranged hookup or just a case of random hormones run wild in a movie premiere. If you can solve either of these mysteries for me, please let me know in the comments, because I'm still confused decades later. And then we have the legendary, the iconic Tony the Pimp and his hose. If you had to pick one solitary reason to watch Demons, Tony the Pimp might be that reason. Now, normally I hate origin stories. Frankly, I couldn't care less how Leatherface or Jason or Michael Myers came to be. I prefer a little mystery myself. I'm a hopeless romantic in that way. But all that being said, I could completely get behind a Tony the Pimp origin story. Tony the Pimp's origins on the mean streets of Berlin or elsewhere, around the EU, I guess. He's easily one of the greatest characters in the history of horror, in the history of gore, but I digress. But it's easy to digress when you're talking about Tony the Pimp. So where was I? Anyway, it turns out that the mystery movie is all about a demonic apocalypse, and with the help of a cursed movie prop in the lobby and a scratch, fiction becomes reality in the Metropole cinema with a full-scale demonic outbreak. And rather oddly, the patrons find themselves bricked into the building with nowhere to run as they try and survive against the demonic hordes that are out to infect them. Well, giving a synopsis for this movie does feel a bit redundant. If you're anything like me, you've probably seen Demons scores of times, but I guess you haven't seen my take on Demons yet, so this is it. I reckon Demons is definitely a high point for Italian horror of the 80s, for sure. And it's one of the most pus, slime, gore, grue and blood-soaked horror movies of the 80s, without a doubt. Several of the early scenes feel a bit like episodes of Dr. Pimple Popper. And the end of it is the cherry on top, where it all sort of turns into a kind of short post-apocalyptic fan film kind of situation, which is very cool. So this one's directed with a hell of a lot of flair by Lamberto Bava, son of legendary director Mario Bava, and produced by Dario Argento, of course. So Lamberto Bava also directed Blast Fighter and Devilfish, and like Revenge of the Nerds, Demons is a damn near perfect film in my opinion. It's easily one of the most adrenaline-charged movies of all time. A pox on your Baby Driver, your Run Lola Run or Crank. These pus-filled demons run rings around the lot of them when it comes to adrenaline and heart-stopping moments and heart-stopping scenes. And aside from playing Spot Michele Soave in his various roles in this movie, there's also a great cameo, of course, by Giovanni Frezza from House by the Cemetery, Manhattan Baby, and one of my favourite post-nukes, The New Barbarians. He's a lot older in this one, which is cool. And this movie really does have absolutely everything required for a great night in and multiple dozen viewings. Aside from all the horror elements, there's all the frenetic swordplay of Shogun Assassin, there's the bleak post-apocalyptic nihilism of Miracle Mile, and there's the weird dystopian futuristic nods to Metropolis. And there's also a Sylvester Stallone lookalike gang member. That's a mouthful, Sylvester Stallone. And his crew in a fun little side plot, and an amazing original adrenaline-pumping synth soundtrack by Goblin. It's a pretty dark, nihilistic and gruesome, but oddly a lot of fun little movie as well. Some of the plot points don't make a whole lot of sense in this one, like the bricking in of the cinema patrons. I sort of get it if the purpose is simply to trap and kill everyone in the theatre over a prolonged amount of time and create a bit of suspense. But it does seem a little counterintuitive if the agendas of whatever malevolent force, in this case the demon force, is pulling the strings. If the agenda is to unleash a kind of demonic plague. I mean, if that was the case, it would have made more malevolent sense for the first infected demon, played by Goretta, I believe, to scurry out into the busy streets of Berlin and just leave the oblivious audience to enjoy the rest of the movie while the demonic apocalypse raged outside. That seems like it would have made more infection sense for the demons. But I'm probably looking too deeply into demons, as you do. It's such a wonderful movie, you can't help it. And Demons would, of course, make the perfect double bill with Demons 2. So Demons 2 is a movie that brings back more than a few characters, oddly playing different roles, and oddly it ignores most of the events of the first film for some reason, probably budgetary reasons. A lot of people car all over Demons 2, but I strangely enjoy it even more so than the original. I'll probably take a look at that one too at some point again. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the pus-filled, gore-filled, grue-filled, adrenaline-pumping Demons from 1985, produced by Dario Argento, written by Dario Argento, directed by Lamberto Bava, with cameos from Giovanni Frezza, Bob from House by the Cemetery, and Michele Soave, director of Cemetery Man, aka Della Morte Dell'Amore, and of course the legendary Bobby Rhodes, Tony the Pimp, who we really do demand a spin-off prequel series for. We don't care about Jason or Leatherface or Freddy's origins, but we really do care about seeing Tony the Pimp's business practices and how he got started in Berlin. That'd be quite interesting and would fill in a lot of plot holes from Demons for me personally. And also we want to know where he got the white suit from. I could watch about 10 minutes of Tony the Pimp getting fitted up for a suit in a high-end Berlin menswear store. And I don't care what you say, you could too, if you enjoy Demons and Tony the Pimp. So let us know if you have any thoughts on Demons, if I forgot anything important about this one, or about the sequel, Demons 2. What's your favourite apocalyptic pestilence movie? Are you an old-school Dawn of the Dead person? Are you a cyberpunk Demons person? Are you a nihilistic Danny Boyle person with the odd 28 years later? Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you enjoy Demons if you haven't checked it out yet. And do a brother a favour, like, share and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take it easy.